With art, you feel things. You can absorb them through your body, through the act of looking.
Comes to visit him.
With Cindy's work, it's so immersive. You can kind of sink yourself into the work and then take it all in that way. The exhibition is called Ancestral Dreams and Other Premonitions. There are 4 major works in this exhibition. One work in particular, Autumn Strawberry, was a work that she created through the Tech Lab at the Surrey Art Gallery. And she started that research in 2019, and then COVID hit. That ended up affecting her approach to the work, and that she was at home and she created a 60-minute animation. And then in addition to the animation that you'll see, she also invited the descendants of the participants in this story. They all did a dance film in the space, and so we have that on view as well. When you enter, you'll see a work called Tides and Moons, Herring Capital. So often Cindy will be invited by a curator at an art gallery to create a new project. And for that one, she was invited by Jessie Birch, who's the curator of the Nanaimo Art Gallery. What came about through her research there is looking at kind of the heyday of the herring fishery and saltery industry. In a way, it's quite a celebration of that time, but also she weaves in the story of internment. And for me, that's a really crucial work for Kamloops, because it also tells the story of how Japanese Canadians came to the interior. A lot of fishermen and fishing families would have had boats in Steveston that were confiscated during internment. Families were relocated, and often the men and women were separated. It's a really tragic part of Canadian history. But then it's also a way then, when you stand and watch this animation, to really take in where we are situated here in Kamloops and to think about how that history then affected the history of this place. There's another kind of major work that's called Cave to Dream. Cindy actually went to Japan, and she was invited by the University of Art in Akita. So as a Japanese Canadian going back to Japan, she was thinking about these traditions that are still quite alive. And at New Year's Eve, kind of akin to how we would celebrate Halloween in a way, there's the Namahage demon, which is typically men who dress up in these costumes. And then they come and then they scare the luck into you. So it's essentially like rapping on the door, and they come in their costumes, and then you give them an offering to appease the demons. And so in this exhibition, we've actually got a couple Namahage demon puppets, and you can write what you want to let go of for the year, roll it up into a little scroll, and feed the demon. There's one final work. This work was made as part of a residency at the Burrard Arts Foundation in Vancouver. And they had asked her to respond materially, like in a different way than she was normally used to working. So as I mentioned, her work is typically quite research-based. And so with these, there's these little silkworm deities with little ceramic feet. There's 50 of them. Through their reflection, there's a mirror with a moon on the wall. They become 100 deities. There's also these cards that she's made that go along with it, and they correspond with the Asian star map. So there's also an activation that she did as part of that project where she can read your fortune. I think this is an important show for everyone to see, but particularly, a lot of these histories are invisible histories, and families are silent. The older generations of Japanese Canadians don't want to talk about the horrors of the internment and the trauma. I know that Cindy had said, she has even met young Japanese Canadians who haven't heard about this history. So, I think that it's a window into that. So if you want to hear Cindy talk about her work, which is much more interesting than anything I can say, she is really captivating to listen to. She's going to be back in Kamloops on June 1st, which is a Saturday, an afternoon in our studios at 2 o'clock, and she'll go through other works as well, and she'll talk about her practice.